I agree that being able to go outdoors and find stuff, not in Central Park, please.
Absolutely, in your backyard.
Yes, but in your backyard or around. And I have a lot of opportunity because I live, on a farm and I have a lot of greenery. But it is a nice way to supplement the decorations on your table.
Absolutely, it makes it very approachable and affordable, and it's just so lush and inviting to the table.
But if you have access to a flower shop, wow, you can get peonies like this.
Oh, aren't they gorgeous?
Carnations. Oh, I love these too.
Astilbes,
yeah. And right now, hydrangeas are still on the bushes.
They're still in season.
Yep, they are. So, so you're going to make we're going to make two beautiful arrangements in these cast iron urns. And look what Meredith has done. She's taken a bowl, I guess, and soaked a piece of Oasis.
Exactly. I prefer Oasis because I think that it's easy to work with. You can really kind of construct that shape and get the silhouette.
And do flowers last as long for you and Oasis as they do?
They don't. No. They last, I mean, you really want to design this the day before or the day of if you're entertaining, but typically, obviously, with flowers and water, they're going to last longer.
Yep. So these are pretty.
Aren't they gorgeous? We brought in some beautiful foliage that...
Rosemary. If you have a rosemary bush, ivy from the...
And it doesn't compete with the food. It smells great
growing
when you're
up your chimney.
And seeded eucalyptus and geranium and umbrella fern, some really beautiful textures.
Really
and I think the whole idea is really to create this centerpiece out of greenery. And then the flowers come secondary.
So I'm going to do sort of bunches of rosemary to start as my basis. What are you going to do?
I'm going to work with geranium and umbrella fern.
Oh, great.
And I'm just going to layer the flowers, layer the greenery, just so it kind of tumbles from the jardiniere.
Okay.
And
what are you finding people are asking for?
Oh, I think the trends are really going for this more garden effect anyway. I think this really kind of fits in with the current trends.
Are people economizing?
They are, and this is a wonderful way of staying within budget. And but it's also really gorgeous. I don't think there's...
I agree. It's no compromise. I don't think.
I don't believe so either.
Yeah. And
we just keep adding the greenery to it until we cover all of the Oasis.
And do you look in their closets too if you're designing for somebody?
Yes.
Because I mean, you can find the turkey dishes, and if you're doing for Thanksgiving, I like to bring out all my turkey collection. I used to live on Turkey Hill Road, so I collected so many things with turkeys in them. And it is
the time to pull out things that you may have gotten as a wedding present, crystal or pottery. Just some of that. And when you're working with these casual elements and this greenery, you really do want to kind of create a little bit more of a formal look with a very special vessel. Any tips? I mean, as you're going along, what kind of tips would you suggest for people? Well, I would suggest using big face flowers. So obviously after the greenery is placed within the vessel, you really want to focus on large face flowers, and that way you get a little bit more scale.
So what are you going to use on yours? I have beautiful dark reds, but you have a more pastel thing.
Exactly. Mine's a little bit lighter and more feminine. And I have beautiful garden roses, these David Austin Juliet roses, which are gorgeous, and these baby romantic spray roses that are also garden roses.
It is easy to arrange when you're using Oasis, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, because everything stays in place. Sometimes when you're using those metal frogs, they move around a little bit, but this is really
makes it very easy.
Kind of easy. I'm trying to cover up the Oasis, though. So I'm going to have to stick a whole lot more stuff in here.
You gotta just keep bunching it together and placing it in.
And what else? How can you make larger flowers?
A wonderful, great little tip is, for example, your peonies. They're so big and robust. Another great way of kind of creating that peony look, but not with the expense. Grouping carnations together. So if you take 5 or 6 carnations and you group them together, it almost looks like a peony. And also hydrangeas are wonderful because they're such a big face flower.
I love hydrangeas.
And sunflowers also this time of year.
And if you have hydrangeas that have sort of dried out from the summertime on the bush, which I do, what a good use of them too right now with it, because they've all turned kind of a beautiful bronzy color. And
a little bit of tinged
you can bring those inside.
Absolutely. And I always like to have a bit of fragrance. Nothing obviously that's going to compete with the food, but the geranium is incredible this time of the year as well. And having a bit of fresh mint in your centerpiece as well, so that works brilliantly.
I like what's happening with mine. And what are these? Oh, these pepperberries?
Aren't they great? They
Yeah.
kind of drape over the
So
urn.
those are inexpensive too.
They
You
are,
can
and they
find-
dry beautifully as well, so you
find
don't
them in
have
the
to
market.
necessarily get them.
And I'm going to use some of those too. So I'm not even using any expensive flowers. I'm just using sort of found objects.
And also, when you're setting your table, you can also include pears and artichokes directly on the table. We have this on the set table over there. We've got little pears with the guest names hanging from the stem.
That's a nice idea.
So you can have
Well, yours
fun.
is beautiful. I like yours better than mine.
Oh, I like yours. I love the hydrangea's so pretty.
Oh, so there. So I'm going to have draping pepperberry, and that is going to be quite a beautiful arrangement and 3 ingredients, basically. That's great. Really very pretty. Thank you very much, Meredith.
Such a pleasure being here.